All right, so this video is about like why I left New York. First of all, I just want to let you know that I've lived in Queens from 93 to like 2000, the year 2000, and then I lived in Long Island from 2000 until like 2012. Then I came back to Queens, and then I stayed until 2019. 2019, I was gone. I was gone in June. So that was like last year. So now I spent a year in Texas, right? And and so far so good. Everything's been great, but obviously all great things come to an end. So I don't want to say that all things are great. I think everything is just fine, and I don't need everything in my life to be great every day, like in New York. In New York, okay, everything has to be great. Everything has to be like popping bottles. Everything has to be expensive. Everything has to be a certain way, or else people will look at you, think that you're weird, poor. People want to go as far as they want to smell your socks to see how much your socks are. That's just a little bit of exaggerating, but you get what I'm trying to say. So I've lived in New York for a long time, and I was always fed this story that study hard and get a job and make a lot of money and all this and all that, regardless if you even like your profession, or your area of expertise. Regardless, no one ever mentioned to me if you do you at least like what you're doing, right? No one ever talked about that. Just everybody was so focused on making money, making money, making money, making money. And obviously over the years, I just realized that like staying in New York and having full-time jobs and having two to three part-time jobs, right? Even in my part-time jobs, I was paying at least anywhere between 27 to 29% in taxes. Like, how in the hell am I supposed to get around like that? You know what I mean? That's insane to me. Being in Texas, that's insane now because I can see the difference. I see the difference. It's insanity now. So, obviously living in New York, I don't want to say I had an overall an entirely bad experience. I've been there for 25 years. I have a lot of friends still there, but it just everything there just changed. And this is pre-orange. This is before Orange, man. I'm talking about like the 2000 going into 2010, 11, 12. Things started to change a lot, and it start especially in the workplace. So and I understand that because when you're in the workplace, you're supposed to go there to work, not to talk about your the p word, pol views and all that. And I understand that you're not supposed to do that. I don't even do that at work. So over there, everything was just really focused a lot on the R word. You know, everything was just so tense because obviously everybody's on top of each other. Everybody wants to know what you're wearing, how much you make, especially the girls. Meanwhile, they don't even have anything to fend for themselves. Uh, Everybody wants to know how much you make, how much you're worth. What are you doing? Oh, I saw so and so on the gram this last weekend. They were popping bottles, having fun. What do you do? What'd you do? It just seemed to me like everything started to become a lie, or maybe it was always a lie and I never knew about it. I never found out. I eventually found out the hard way. I realized a lot of people are broke, no matter if you're making 50, 60, 70K, and you're living in an apartment. You're probably paying, like, if you're living in Queens, you're probably paying anywhere between $2,000 to $3,000 for an apartment, right? Plus, that's just rent, and then you also have to pay, your food and all that. Why would you even want to have a car? There's plenty of buses and trains and all that. Everything over there is just so expensive that it doesn't um make sense to just stop and think and realize and just figure out what you want to do. But that's what I did anyway. So that's one of the reasons why I eventually left, because I was really tired of the lies that everybody was trying to emulate. The poorest person I've seen who were making like $12 an hour were buying like Salvatore Ferragamo shoes and Salvatore Ferragamo belts and all this stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of people in New York, especially the young people, and even middle aged people, who were trying to emulate the life of a millionaire, and then they wonder why they're broke, and then they start to blame outside external influences like I guess the government or the president. People were blaming that or as to why their personal finances were bad. So to me, I cannot live or talk or be friends. I don't want to say be friends. I just don't want to be around people who point fingers at external at everything else but other than them. You know, before I want to talk smack about somebody, I kind of like try to look at myself, and obviously there's plenty of things that are wrong with me. Okay, I'm not gonna deny that. I'm not perfect like the rest of you, right? So everybody there is just so used to pointing fingers at people and blaming everybody else, and it's just I couldn't really take that anymore because I really wanted to, and I was the same way. But then when I started to obviously, hey, you know, this is my fault. I got into trouble a couple times, you know, and it was my fault. It wasn't my mommy's fault. It wasn't my daddy's fault. And you know, nobody told me to drink. Nobody told me to do drugs. You know, so when I realized that, hey, this is my fault, so it's just you know, it's not the economy that's making me go to the liquor store, right? So I started to see all that, and then I'm like, you know, this is my fault. I'm just gonna start to change my mind over the years, right? And people start to notice that, and I guess I stopped being friends with some people. So I guess that's fine, and that's fine. So eventually, you know, I started, you know, I was working in Manhattan, and I just started. It was to me, it was just a big lie. You know, the commuting, just talking to people, everything was so fake and so bland, and like, you know, I have nothing against getting up and doing the same thing every day. I understand people have to work and take care of their families and their bills. I have nothing against that. It's just over there, it's like you are surrounded by millions of people, yet you will never get to know any of them, you know? And I really got tired of that. I got tired of paying so many damn taxes, and I got tired of paying so much high rent, and I got tired of paying of having to think a certain way in the workplace, because if you don't think a certain way, you know, especially post 2016, post 2016, if you didn't think a certain way, now all of a sudden you're a bad person. And because of the way you look, right? I guess some people think I'm a Mexican or something. I was supposed to think a certain way and vote a certain way and have, you know, a certain way of thought because I look a certain way. And I really didn't appreciate that. I didn't like that because I'm an open-minded person. I don't look at other people I don't judge other people for how they look. I judge them for what they do, how they handle situations, right? But I guess I'm crazy for thinking like that. You know what I mean? I'm so crazy. I'm so ignorant, right? Because I judge people on their character, on what they do, on how they carry their lives, rather than how they look. I'm crazy for thinking like that, okay? Anyways, with that being said, I got really tired, and I had to like make since 2017 I was just making all these plans and trying to get trying to get my citizenship, trying to change my name, getting my license, all this stuff so I can just escape it. And I did. And I have no regrets being here. I think being in Texas is just, oh my god, it's amazing. It's great. I was able to buy a house here, and everything. I mean, sometimes I just feel like, what the hell am I doing here? Like everything is fine. All I have to do is just work, you know. And it's so I see this state as the land of opportunity because strangers here have given me a chance. People that I just, you know, met from Indeed, you know, employers gave me a chance, and they had no clue other than my resume of who I was, or how they gave me a chance, and I appreciate that because and they were nice to me on top of that, you know, because in New York City, when an employer gives you a chance, they're like, yeah, you better appreciate that. That's how it is over there. In most, from what I've experienced and from what I've been told and from what I've seen, and I got really tired of just kissing up and having to take the SHIT. So here people are just more open. I was given a chance to work. Um, overall the amount of people that I crossed paths with, they were so nice to me and very very informative. And I think it's because I primed my brain to think like that, also because I wanted to just come here with a fresh mind, open mind, to meet nice good people that can help me. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful, and I'm happy I'm not back in New York, considering what's going on now. And I've obviously, if you're in New York and you're watching this, I hope everything works out for you. And if you plan on staying there, and if you want to pay 33% in taxes, you go for it. That's all on you. I'm not paying 33% taxes. I'd rather stay in Texas and pay 16, 17, sometimes 14 percent in taxes. Obviously, they find a way, to get you somehow with the Texas toll tag or whatever, whatnot, or property taxes. But no, in New York City, you got to pay state tax, city tax, taxes for breathing. You got to pay all sorts of taxes, and at the end of the day, you get nothing. Okay, that's the type of life that I was sick of, and I don't want to live like that. And I'm here. It's great that I'm here, and sometimes it obviously feels bad because I see all these people back in New York, and they're all struggling, and some of them are even struggling to make it look like they're not struggling. And I find that incredibly, and they struggle. They're struggling to make it look as if they're not struggling through their social media, and I think that's really sad, because you don't owe anybody any explanation as to how your finances or how your personal life is doing. Yet these people feel like they have to do it. They have to show everybody that, hey, I'm doing great. Hey, look, I just bought a new car, or no matter what, or this, I'm still living. You know what I mean? So that's just a little sad. But other than that, I left New York because I didn't want to. I can't be living around a lie that, oh, study hard, and if you can't go to college, you're gonna come out with a degree, and you're not the only one who's done that. Okay, and what are you gonna do now? You're what's a good what worth is a degree if you're in debt for like $100,000, $80,000? You know what I mean? And you're stuck in New York. Oh my God, that's horrible. That's horrible. In Texas, I like noticed some people here haven't gone to college and they still own a ranch. They still own their home, and then that's probably because they just worked hard, saved their money, and that's what it's all about. You work hard and you save your money. You don't need to have everything all at once, but people want to indulge, and I don't think there's anything wrong with indulging just when it's the right time, But maybe I'm crazy because I think that way too. Anyways. This is just a little rant. We're about 4 days out of election, and I'm glad that I'm not in New York City. I'm very grateful, and I'm so blessed to be here because, damn man, like if you watch the news as to what's happening out there, it's horrible. It's horrible. So yeah, if you want to leave any comments, if you want to make fun of me or something like that, you can do that. You leave it in the comments below. Just try to make it at least intelligent. If you want to make an insult, try to make it intelligent. Don't just go shouting off words, because YouTube will shut you down. I won't shut you down because I believe that you should have freedom of speech and say whatever you want to say. But I'm crazy. I'm probably crazy for that too, right?